Welcome to the White House Correspondents Center. We are pleased to welcome our many guests and the President of the United States, George W. Bush, and his wife, Laura Bush. Thanks to Bush, you still have a job. One thing is for sure, no one was ever not busy under the Bush administration. The loving mother of 6, the soccer mom that never quits, and the second woman in history to be the wife and mother of a U.S. President, please welcome former First Lady, Barbara Bush.
Much, Miss Compton. It is my honor to speak here tonight about my little boy. The love I feel for my little Bushy Boo is unfathomable. I would do anything for my little man. Growing in Midland, Texas made him super tough. He played rugby throughout high school and eventually at Yale. My little bulldog even helped crush Harvard in 1968. I was proud of my boy. After college, he kind of became a little reckless. He admitted to drinking too much and even got a DUI. Silly boy, I taught you better. Everything evened out when my little boy got in his 40s. Region changed that man for the better. I tried to discourage him from running for the governor of Texas in 1994. I campaigned fiercely for his election to the presidency. I would do almost anything for my little man. I could not watch his debates though. They got kind of crazy and I could not see my little boy go through all the hate and criticism he received on the road to Commander-in-Chief. Of course he won though. Though he won by just a few hundred votes, and his election turned the United States political structure into a burning dumpster fire. In my eyes, he is always a winner. Not that we should bring up the whole debacle because it might trigger some Gore supporters in the room. This election in the United States, nothing is closer than our relationship. I am so proud of my boy and so grateful for the opportunity I had to speak tonight. Keep up the good work, kiddo.
Thank you, Mrs. Bush. Now introducing Jim Sensenbrenner, representative of Wisconsin's 5th Congressional District in the United States House of Representatives and best known for writing the Patriots Act.
Good evening, Mr. President. It is such an honor to be here, to get this invitation to be among so many distinguished guests is a humbling experience for me. Of course, because all politicians are completely selfless, charitable people. I mean, we do nothing for ourselves. Let's be real. This was no Clinton administration. But how on earth is the entire Justice Department, committing fraud and hiring people solely based on, sexuality and political party? Aren't they the Justice Department? That's, their thing to not do that. I mean, I'm no expert. I mean, I'm just a congressman from Wisconsin. But, from the outside, it seems like we should have known. One person is bad, but the entire department, including the Attorney General, I mean, really, the Attorney General? Sir, you really know how to pickle. One of the highlights of my political career has been the honor of writing the Patriot Act. After the horrific attacks of September 11th, we needed legislation to ensure the safety of our country in our fight against terrorism. It is my honor to write this legislation and to further protect the American people. Well, it turns out some Americans in the future may not like this act and the stuff that's in it, being able to look through possible cameras and wiretapping and stuff. But for right now it's okay. Everybody just wants to feel safe, and this act is really helping do that. But in the future, I'm not sure this wiretapping and monitoring of everything should be continued. Privacy, kind of a thing. Well, thank you for having me, Mr. President. I've had a great time. This chicken is good.
Thank you, Representative Sensenbrenner. Please welcome Vice President Dick Cheney, former Secretary of Defense, born in the great state of Nebraska and probably still making money off the Iraq War.
My dear friend George W. Bush first asked me to be his running mate. I declined. The second time he asked me if I could be the potential vice president, I couldn't resist. People say that I'm a different vice president and that I have too much power. That I was responsible for everything, like the budget and breaking ties votes with the Senate. I reshaped national security law, expanded the prerogatives of the executive branch, and orchestrated secret, warrantless domestic surveillance circumventing a court set up by Congress specifically to oversee such surveillance. I presented the president with options that led to a shutdown of negotiations with North Korea and played a major role in persuading President Bush to go to war against Iraq. And where was he? Probably asleep. But most importantly, the citizens have said that I was George's puppet master. Well, when a man sounds like Hickville, you need someone else to be the influencer. I mean, how do you think I got out of the lawsuit? Or how we got into the Iraq war? But since I had the stage, I must say, I did not make money off the Iraq war.
When your dog eats... Dick Cheney made money off the Iraq War.
Excuse me. Sorry to interrupt. Stephen Colbert here. Not Stephen Colbert, as some people call me. I'm interrupting to give you some of my thoughts. I mean, if George Bush can get interrupted by a chicken when addressing the American people about immigration, I can interrupt this dinner.
The issue of immigration stirs intense emotions. And in recent weeks, Americans have seen those emotions on display. On the streets of major cities.
I no longer feel alone. I know that I've always had my wife and kids with me, but I feel like I'm always being watched. For that very reason, I propose a toast. A toast to the NRA, who probably knows just about everything you have done, everything you are doing, and probably predicting what you will do next at this very moment. It's no more privacy. Wait. Is that a camera? Oh my gosh, they're watching me. Whew. Now that that's taken care of, Mr. President, you are a man of few words, and sometimes no words, especially when it comes to names. Middle Eastern dictators probably can't pronounce your super difficult name either, so no worries. There must be at least a Brazilian different names to try to pronounce. It's insane! Furthermore, I'd like to talk about Texas, a topic that I'm sure you could go on for hours. Texas is cool and all with its oil reserves and cowboys. How does that phrase go again? Everything's bigger in Texas, including your lies. Reminds me of something your dad once said. What was it again? Something along the lines of, read my lips. No more promises, or at least ones you will keep. All tax jokes aside, I do respect you and love the work you're doing for this amazing country. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President of the United States, George W. Bush. Hopefully, no shoes are thrown this time and no one throws up.
Alright, I'm so delighted to be here tonight. Thank you all for coming. And thank you, Ann Compton, for hosting and emceeing tonight. There are many defining moments in one's life, and I've had way too many as president. Though many of the negative or controversial occurrences may overshadow my positives, the conflicts that ensued starting my first term weren't really my fault. My first term pretty much started the worst way possible. The plane crashes into the Twin Towers was a deliberate act of terrorism by Al-Qaeda. Side note, I do not lie about imminent war in Iraq. There were weapons of mass destruction and a mushroom cloud on the horizon. I saw it with my own eyes. I was there. But no one believes me. We're still gonna go get them. Too bad, too sad. I started the Global War on Terror. Named it myself. I'm pretty proud of that. I created this to stop the threat of terrorists. Yet all of you are hating me for it, saying that we're torturing them. Why would I torture someone? I'm just a little sweet Texas man. I think I'm pretty hospitable. First, I like to say, love you, Jim. Keep up the great work. You are the man. But he's right that we need to take extreme steps to ensure the safety of the country as a whole. I mean, would you rather have privacy or Al-Qaeda get you in your own home? That's what I thought. But the CIA looking through your cameras and such, that's just temporary. And Barbara, oh sweet Barb, she's been such a loving, protecting mother everyone should be blessed to have. I had to end my run for governor in order to become president, and I succeeded. As I said previously, I had many defining moments, though many have been negative. I handled 9/11 and unified the nation the following days. We still see flags flying and always remember 9/11. My approval rates were up to 90%. I also granted no child left behind, granting all children of all races equal opportunities for education. Although criticized once again, I also created a Medicare plan for the elderly to enable less costly medicine. I do not plan to discuss the negatives of my presidency because in my eyes there were none, but thank you all for coming. Good night.